The imperative to live without constant narrative. Right? So the imperative to live without the constant narrative. So it is essential if you want to be free, if you want to be at peace, in harmony, in stillness, in quietude, in harmony with eternity, which is now. That there is not the necessity or the drive or the obsession with a constant talking, the constant voicing, the constant bringing things into words, the constant becoming identified and being busy with the objective world. Because there is first being, then knowing, and then the knowing of all that is known. The things that are known, if they become the obsessive focus, let me just put this away. Once those things become an obsessive focus, then the entire existence becomes a hell realm. Because there is no stillness in ever passing, ever changing, the infinitude of changing objects. All that comes and goes, all that's born and dies. There is no end to that. It's almost could be considered to be a restlessness. And it mainly is a restlessness because if you're not in your primary position or place, the placeless place of being and knowing, where nothing is happening, there's only being and knowing, right? The I am. And therefore, if you're no longer aware of the primary, your source, what you are, the I am, and you're constantly identified with the objective world of becoming, of change, of objects, of thoughts, of sensations and perceptions, then it becomes a restless existence. An existence full of suffering and pain and anxiety and frustration, and because there's no stronghold, there's no solidity or let's say safe haven. There's no place where there is rest and peace and harmony and love and quietude. Because that is the place of knowing and being. Being knowing. I am. And therefore, it could be said that it is an imperative to live without the constant narrative. Narrative, of course, is the constant talking, the constant verbalizing, the constant putting things into words, the constant imaging of things and remembering of things. This is a narrative. And the narrative usually is that, you know, you're the baby that grew up here and going there, went to school here, and your mommy and your daddy did this and that, and your sister and your brother, and all of that stuff. And you're going here because your business is going there, and you need to make more money this because you have to pay the bills. And the narrative of constantly being busy with the objective world. The world of becoming, the world of change, the world of objects, the world of infinity. Lost in infinity, narrative cannot stop. It's trying to work out what's going on. It's changing. Oh my God, I can't get any stability. Oh shit, just when I thought my business was going good, now the economy collapses, or the this comes, or the that comes, or whatever interferes, because it will always be that way. The existence of the infinitude of objective reality, this existence here, is always changing. This body has never been 1 second the same body, right? This thing here. And the mind has been changing all the time with different inputs, different software downloads, different ideas of different masters and teachers and learning schools and whatever. It's always changing. It's not a stable place. It, of course, is much more stable than somebody that has no clue about things, and it's therefore, you know, enmeshed and entangled in the very basics of existence. And many people on earth still are very entangled in the very basics. They can barely get to the basic stability of some kind of physical, objective stability in their existential, worldly body life. So their body-mind world is chaotic. And they can't find peace. But it's not like you can get peace there first. And then once you've got that peace, of course there's a certain reality to that. You got to have some kind of peace. If you're working 14 hours a day and then coming home and still having to do the cooking and the cleaning and whatever, and that's 7 days a week, you probably will never get to the insight that we're talking about here. So there is a basic need to have some order in your life to be able to reflect and inquire into the things that we are doing in these videos. But finally, to get the real peace, the real harmony, the real balance in all of existence, you have to return to the quantum field of eternity. Eternity is the stable place. And until you find or re-recognize, really, because it's not like you find it, it's not a thing, it's what you are. It's the only thing that is. Once you have done the inquiry and seen the objective world as something that is separate, that can be totally removed and still being and knowing remain, then you come back to that stable place, that harmony, that stillness, that silence, which is what we truly are. This is our, it's not a thing like, oh my God, I like barbecue and you like whatever, you know, and oh no, I like this kind of song and you like that kind of song. Oh, and I particularly like eternity, this place of being knowing. No, I'm talking about this is the very essence of what we are. Everything comes from being knowing. And then all existence unfolds from there. So it's not like it's something particular you might or might not want to do. If you want the real harmony, if you want to return to your true nature, if you want to recognize it, then you have to discard that which comes and goes. You have to, at least for a time. I'm not saying you have to throw it away and never grab back. I'm still sitting here doing things and eating and working and doing all the things that are needed for the existential part. But the point is, the real harmony comes from resting as the being knowing, as the I am, just in the presence of I am. That's the quantum computer. That's the quantum field. That's the supercomputer that rearranges, organizes, and balances out. And from that flows everything that is harmony in your existential life, in every aspect, whether it's the love life, the financial life, the health life. And even if you continue living in a way that's not absolutely healthy for the body, it doesn't really matter that much. Of course, there will be a certain balance and there will be certain recognitions and insights and changes made in the existential life once the quantum computing system is running the show instead of the ego mind with a tiny little minute baby computer like the most ancient computer in the 70s or 80s that's retarded compared to the quantum computer. That ego mind is running everything into the ground. It's killing the planet, killing each other, people in families, you know, between each other, mother, father, brothers, sisters. There's just about chaos everywhere because people are running from this tiny little software program, which is an existential one. Harmony comes from when we return, stillness comes from when we return to that which is in itself, by its own nature, still, silent, and in harmony. Only from being the harmony comes harmony into the objective world. Once you return to what is harmony, harmony just can't stop but harmonize everything. So the true imperative is therefore to live without constant narrative, which is the meaning of true meditation. Stop talking all the time about objects and rest for a minute or 2 or 10 or 30 as much as you're capable without having to try doing it, because then again it would be the ego trying to do it. Just stop. Just rest. This is why Ramana Maharshi said, you know, nothing is the highest teaching or whatever he said. I'm paraphrasing here, but just because people are so restless, words are needed to explain, but really the highest teaching is resting in stillness, in silence. That's the quantum computer. That's without narrative. And that's the imperative. To live without the constant narrative.